Burns, gunshot wounds and blast injuries. NATO is talking about progress in its operations around Kandahar, but in the city's Mirwais hospital you discover the fighting comes at a cost, a human cost. 9-year-old Zainullah was, his father says, injured when he picked up a NATO flare that hadn't ignited.
It was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon when the Chinook helicopter dropped the flares. My son and his brother found it, and there were more kids of the village playing with it. Suddenly the flare exploded. He and his brother were burned. His brother had less burns and he's all well now. But this boy is still under treatment.
Some of those being treated in this hospital, which is jointly run by the International Committee of the Red Cross and the Afghan government, are young men of fighting age, but most of the patients are without doubt civilians, many children. This is already the busiest hospital in southern Afghanistan. But in the last couple of months, while the fighting's been going on around Kandahar city, they've seen double the number of patients normally admitted. In this room, the intensive care unit, 6 out of 8 beds are occupied by war victims. The hospital director says both the war wounded and the sick often suffer because the fighting means they cannot be brought to hospital for days.
Complicated cases in our hospital because they are delaying to come in the hospital. So maybe we have high mortality rate in the hospital, that we get complicated cases, delayed cases.
Not everyone here is being treated for war injuries, but staff say they are all indirect victims of the long conflict. 6-year-old Khalida, here with her grandmother, has been sick for a month. She couldn't come to hospital until a few days ago because the road was blocked by fighting. She cries as she explains that only 5 months ago her father was killed in an explosion. Watching and saying nothing, 12-year-old Shagul, she has tuberculosis and like many here is malnourished. Another victim of the poverty and disruption caused by a conflict that's been going on throughout her short life. James Bays, Al Jazeera, Kandahar.